One thing that we have in common is that we're both from Yorkshire.
Brilliant.
Whereabouts in Yorkshire are you from?
So I'm from a small town called Morley in West Yorkshire, so it's all between Leeds and Wakefield. What about yourself?
I'm from York originally.
York, that's just about Yorkshire.
Yeah.
You got the York part of the name, but like North Yorkshire, I'm not sure it can compete with West Yorkshire, to be honest, mate.
Your accent might be a little bit stronger than mine, the Yorkshire twang.
My accent's not that strong though. Like I've been down south now for like 8 years, so I went to Oxford for university.
Yeah.
My accent was diluted at that point because I was surrounded by lots of people from very different backgrounds, and when I turned up on Freshers Week, a lot of people didn't understand my Yorkshire lingo, so I dialed it down over the time. And when I've been in London for the past 5 years, again, it's been reinforced, but I had this humiliating experience a couple of years ago where I did an interview on BBC Look North, so like the news channel I used to watch growing up, and I was so excited, and they're getting to meet the sort of presenters who I watched on the TV screen. There's this guy called Harry Gresham, if you know him.
Okay, yes, I know
the iconic.
I've seen him at the Yorkshire Show, this like big festival they do in Yorkshire, actually. I saw him sharing a sheep once. Yeah.
He's an incredible guy. He's sort of iconic Yorkshire presenter. I think he's got something like 9 kids, and he had a child like 5 or 6 years ago, and he's like 80 years old. But yeah, met him on the sofa, and then in the interview, the presenters like mugged me off for losing my Yorkshire accent on live TV, and I thought, God, I got to do something about this and get my accent back.
Well, you went from Yorkshire, which it's got nice areas, but it's not as wealthy as London, perhaps, or the students at the University of Oxford, where you attended. Tell us a little bit about that journey, kind of going from growing up in Yorkshire to going to like one of the most elite schools in the world and surrounded by money and prestige and power and all of that stuff.
Yeah, so people call Yorkshire God's own county, don't they? It is a beautiful place in many ways, got like the Yorkshire Dales and stuff. Yeah. But economically, the divide between Yorkshire and London is even bigger than the divide between West and East Germany when the Berlin Wall came down. So that gap is absolutely huge. And I grew up in a small post-industrial town. Okay. And it's sort of like a town in the bottom 40% of the income distribution. Most people are like just about managing. But the big issue is that you're completely geographically disconnected from opportunity. There's this crazy fact, but to get on the bus in Wakefield, to get from one side of Wakefield to the other on the bus, it takes longer than the train journey from Wakefield to London. So even if you're living in a small Yorkshire town, the time it takes you to get to a city centre in Leeds or Sheffield or Wakefield is humongous. And I think that's a massive impediment to be able to access the elite top jobs, because most of them naturally are in metropolises, whether it's London, Manchester, Leeds or elsewhere. So I sort of faced those barriers the first hand of living in a small town and going to state schools, and I made a journey to Oxford University. And I was one of the lucky ones. Like I was someone who was, I was driven, I was sort of academically talented, I suppose, and the internet for me was a massive leveler because I didn't have anyone in my family who'd been to Oxford before. Like very few people from my school went. In Morley, where I grew up, that was a very weird thing to do. In the year I graduated from Oxford, not a single person in the Morley parliamentary constituency got an offer for Oxford University, which is crazy when you think about it. But the internet was a leveler for me because I was able to research, watch YouTube videos of sort of university influencers who'd been through the process. And although that didn't give me the complete inside track, and I didn't have someone I could directly speak to, it did give me a little bit of information. And that's probably ultimately why I was able to win a place. And when I got to university, it's almost like I had that Emperor's Got No Clothes moment where I met all these people who I presumed were going to be incredibly academically talented, like geniuses and Einsteins everywhere. And there were some people like that, but actually the vast majority of people were no more gifted or talented than a lot of the people I grew up with in Yorkshire. It was that Emperor's Got No Clothes moment where I realised, wow, just the vast gaps in opportunity in the UK is what creates those kind of gulfs in university and careers. It's got nothing to do with natural talent or aptitude. It's all to do with access to opportunity. And I thought, there's got to be a way to change this. And I'd seen how technology companies throughout my life had disrupted all sorts of other sectors, whether it was Uber disrupting travel around towns and cities, or Deliveroo with takeaways, or Facebook with social networks. And I thought, there's got to be a way to use technology to solve this problem of how you match talent with opportunity. So that's what I set out to do when I graduated.